coming in. Yeah, flex, I just wanna win. Yeah, LABB, who we running with? Yeah, 2233, I'm on 10 again.
All right, welcome back to the elospeaks podcast. Thanks for waiting. So, the last topic I want to get into is the UFC 270 recap, and that recap is regarding the fight between Francis Ngannou and Cyril recap to unify the heavyweight championship of the world, and just give my thoughts and opinions on the matter. So, in terms of this fight, I was heavily impressed on what I seen from Francis Ngannou. Watching the few fights that I have of Cyril Gane, he's a really technical fighter, great striker. He's a point fighter. He outpoints his opponents, and that's a great way to win fights. But in terms of going down into the scorecards, I don't particularly like trusting the referees in terms of like win the fight, because they might see that you like when it comes to like fights like that, you think you might have won the fight, but they might have seen a different fight. They might look at things different when it comes to split decisions and overall decisions. If the fight was to continue to stand up and Cyril Gane were to continue to outpoint Francis Ngannou, he would have won the title. But the thing that really impressed me the most out of all of that was that Francis Ngannou has improved drastically in his wrestling and ground game. Like, not granted, it's still raw, and there's still some improvements that he needs to make in terms of what he needs to do. He can't just wrestle and snap to the right ground and just hold him there for like a couple of minutes, but still, the fact that he was able to utilize that and hold and do a little bit of damage, like not just like ground ground and stall him the whole fight, but he showed some versatility in this game, and I was really impressed by that he was able to retain his title by beating the interim champion to win. And I think that was to me, that's a signature win for him. It shows growth. It shows that he's not going to knock out every potential fighter that he faces. He's going to have to find. He's going to have to find different ways to win the fight. He can't just knock everybody out. That's not going to happen, or TKO people. He's going to have to figure out a way to, possibly win on the scorecard, or win by decision, or win by via submission. There's other ways to win the fight. You don't have to always go for the knockout, and particularly if we go up against well-skilled fighters like Cyril Gane, he's not going to go down lightly. So you're going to have to find a different way to win, and that's what Francis Ngannou did. He found a different way to win, and he was able to come out with it, and I was happy for him, because if he kept on continuing to try to go for that knockout and it didn't go, he was going to tire himself out throughout the 5 rounds, and Cyril Gane was going to continue to pick him apart and end up winning the fight. Now, granted, in the first 2 rounds, I had Cyril Gane 2-0, like straight up. I thought he was having a masterful fight game. His coach was telling him to do it. He was doing good. Now, out of nowhere, that's when Francis Ngannou utilized his wrestling to the T, and then that's when he was able to get the upper hand and win the fight. And that's what impressed me the most about that situation, because it was like, damn, it was reminiscent to Stipe Miocic versus Francis, where Stipe was just overwhelming Francis, and Francis never dealt with that before, so he just kind of like curled up and kind of gave up a little bit even before the fight was over. But I think he learned from that experience and became a better fighter. And he also told Stipe that he because of that fight that he lost against Stipe Miocic, he became a better fighter. He became smarter. He utilized other skills besides the knockout. Um, I do think that he needs to be more technical with his striking. I feel like he's too predictable. He needs to utilize some kicks more. I don't see him kick at all. He's kicked a few times, but he needs to utilize. He needs to change up his striking levels so that way he could be more unpredictable. He needs to go to the body more. He needs to like utilize that. In the MMA, what I love about the MMA is like there's a wide range of things you can do. You could grapple your opponent, beat him up on the inside like that. You could strike with them, like hit him to the head, to the body, kicks, kick to the body, multiple ways you could damage your opponent. It's not just strictly punching or striking. You could do that. So I just was impressed with Francis Ngannou because he turned that into a wrestling match, and that's something I thought I'd never seen from Francis Ngannou, where he basically utilized his wrestling, overpowered Cyril Gane, and basically took him to the ground. He did little damage, not too much, but he did enough to help him win the fight. And then in the fifth round, I thought that when Cyril Gane had got the takedown on Francis, I was like, wow, okay, Cyril Gane won that fight. He's about to finish him right now. And all he had to do was continue to power him to the ground, maybe do a little bit of damage, and he could have possibly won the fight. He could have won the fight. But Francis Ngannou out of nowhere go for the reversal when Cyril Gane stupidly trying to go for a leg lock submission. And I was like, what are you doing? That was a critical error in the fight that he made, and that's what lost him the fight. If he continued the ground game and just stuck him there after, because I could see that if Francis Ngannou, he was exhausted. He was exhausted, but he gave Francis Ngannou just a little bit of room just for the reversal, and once he did that, he kept Cyril Gane on the ground, and he knew he won the fight. Cyril Gane could have won that fight. That's the thing that like was like, wow, why would you do that? And I don't see too much of Cyril Gane ground game, but I feel like he could have like won that fifth round right there and there because I had the fight going 2-2 going to the fifth because I think Cyril Gane won the first two rounds, and then when Francis Ngannou won his two, he won the third and fourth round. So I had it even going in the first round. So I said whoever won this fifth round wins the fight, and Francis ended up winning the fight in the fifth round. So it's it was impressive on his part. So hey, I want to congratulate him as regards to that, and better luck next time for Cyril Gane. I personally could see him becoming a heavyweight champion in the future, and becoming a dangerous opponent because I've seen him devastate people. I'll devastate other fighters, like skilled top five fighters. So he's gonna be in the top five contention. I think he's gonna learn from this fight and become better. But the thing about it is, Francis Ngannou is learning too, and he's becoming even more better. So who knows what we might have moving forward as regards to that. So I just wanted to like give my thoughts and take on that. I just think that was a great overall fight, skilled fight. It didn't give us the power knockout that we experienced, but it not every fight is gonna end in a knockout. There's gonna be other ways where a fighter's gonna win the fight, and as long as that fighter wins, I think they don't really care that they got the knockout or not. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on the matter as regards to that. Now, when it comes to Francis Ngannou's next fight, obviously we want the John Bones Jones fight. We're not sure if we're going to get that. Francis Ngannou's going through some legal issues right now in terms of the UFC and whatever situation they got. Personally, I don't too much care about that because it's not dealing with sports. If it becomes out of blown proportion, I'll probably talk about it in the future. But so far, I just wanted to talk about the fight and what's going on. So, could a possible fight with John Jones happen sometime this year? I think so. John Jones was on social media on Twitter saying that he would beat up Francis Ngannou and Cyril Gane. He called them bumps. So that's just adding more excitement to the fire. of what could possibly happen sometime this year. I see John Jones have been training, but I still feel like it's been too long that he has a fight. I feel like he needs a tune up fight with a top five opponent in the game, so that way he could prove to me that he's ready for a championship fight. Possibly a fight with him and Stipe Miocic might be a great fight. I would love to watch that. But so far, if they do have a heavyweight fight, championship fight with him and John Jones, you know I'm going to talk about that, and it'll be great for the sport of the UFC to have. And I think it will break record numbers for, we don't know who possibly might happen. We don't know how John Jones might contend in the heavyweight division. How would Fresnel defeat a skilled fighter such as John Jones in the heavyweight division and move forward? So those are my thoughts and opinions right now. And so far, we at the end of the podcast. I want to thank you guys for sitting with me today. If you've been here throughout the whole podcast, thank you. So we're close to ending the podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening. Tell me what you think. Do you agree, disagree with my takes? Let me know down in the comment section down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe on your way out. Make sure to follow me on all my other social media platforms or follow me on Patreon, etc. And this is Edo Speaks out. Peace.